I don't think it's a matter of what to expect from Georgia on Saturday. We know they're coming straight at you, and we know what they're coming straight at you with. So, what are the keys that you're trying to really emphasize to the defense, especially early in the game when Georgia comes at you and tries to set the tone?
I think more than that, anything else, I think what we've got to do is keep the crowd out of it and stay focused on what our job is, because I think everybody understands that these guys will run the football, and that's what they do well. They were almost 200 yards rushing per game last year over the last 6 ball games, and that's got to be something that we got to stop. We got to stop it early, but they'll do it out of a multiple formations, and us getting lined up to the different formations is going to be critical, and then playing with great technique, and the guy is going to bring down Chubb or Sony. So getting off initial block and chasing the football and doing it in a manner that won't open you up or make you susceptible to reverses or boots or things like that.
As far as Eason goes, obviously, a major league arm the guy has got. He's probably capable of throwing some balls you guys wouldn't see on a week-to-week basis. Talked to Scott and Brian yesterday about being able to stay on top. In the games you guys lost last year, long passes were kind of marked in each one of them. What are the things that you guys are working on, let's say from front to back? So pass coverage is never only about the DBs. It's about the guys up front. It's about the linebackers in the middle of the field. What's kind of the total package that you're trying to make sure that you put in place to keep everybody in front of you?
I think you're right. I think the quarterback's got a cannon of an arm. I think he can throw the deep ball really well. So being able to get in his face and get him a little bit off target is critical for us. We've got to be able to beat blocks, up front to get pressure on him. But I do believe this. I believe that the majority of the time that they'll go deep on us, I think they'll do it from a max protect standpoint. So it's going to be hard to get pressure, even if you're blitzing with max protection. So what we got to do is find a way to give the right guy help, for the double moves and those long balls. We've been trying to simulate some of those deep balls out here in practice, and you're right. Getting someone that can throw it that far down the field is a little bit difficult. But that's something that we've been working on, and we're anxious to see how well we execute it.
Obviously, we talk about Myquan a lot at the nose. How do you feel like his presence in matching up with Georgia's offensive line? Because listen, they're probably all 4- and 5-star recruits, but if there's a part of their team, a position group, that seems to have been maybe the question mark coming into the season, it is that offensive line. Do you see maybe in what you guys have watched some opportunity for Myquan, who's always disruptive, but to maybe be a little more disruptive, even though you're dealing with a SEC program?
First of all, I think our defense starts with our nose tackle. When you got a guy that has the technique, the strength, the quickness of Myquan, then shame on you if you're not a good defense. And I think he's also got some guys out on the wings that on each side of him that are really good defensive linemen as well. And I think T. Sims and Caleb Fuller are outstanding at what we do. Their backups are really good. But to answer your question a little bit more in depth, I think that Georgia has done a good job in the offseason, I think, of addressing something that they may have perceived to be a weakness last year, and really working hard on moving some guys around and getting that to where it'll be a strength this year. Because if they run the football, you're going to have to bring safeties down to help stop it. And once you do that, those corners are out there by themselves. So getting the pass rush out of Myquan and or those other ends is going to be critical for us. I know I've said that before, but then I'll say it again. That'll be the thing that's got to happen for us to win the football game.
In terms of them being in the red zone, Georgia was not especially effective at converting red zone trips into touchdowns. Now, they scored, I think it was 85% of the time, but probably a disproportionate number of field goals. Have you guys seen anything in studying some of their tendencies down there that give you, and obviously you guys have a really good red zone record, that give you some indications of, hey, if the ball gets into the red zone, we think we can protect the goal line because these guys have struggled with that a little bit.
I don't know what they'll be. What we're looking at is last year's film, and then what they've done in spring practice, what they've done in fall camp. We haven't had an opportunity to see yet. This is the first ball game. So what we're trying to do is a little bit based off of what we saw last year, but an awful lot of what might happen down there in the red zone. So trying to cover our bases on all the different angles that you got to cover for that first ball game until you get this year's film, and can study that.
Good deal.
All right, man.
Nate.